Good afternoon, everyone. Let us continue the discussion regarding the signals. In the previous section, we have completed all the elementary signals. Now, quickly tell me how many elementary signals we have studied.
8, ma'am.
Unmute and answer, no problem.
12.
How many elementary signals we have studied?
6.
No answer. Today, let us deal with the title Signal Transformations. Okay, under this title, we have to see the different operations performed on the variables. So, if you observe any kind of signal, let me take one example of my voice signal. Okay, speech. If this is the signal, say x of t, and this is the variable time, and see, assume this is my voice signal, how it is varying. Okay, this indicates the amplitude. No doubt the amplitude is not constant, because the way I'm speaking, it is with respect to time, and I'm changing the frequency. So according to that, even amplitude is getting changed. So there are two variables here. One is the amplitude, the other one is the time. So we will now study regarding the operations on dependent variable. Out of this time and amplitude, amplitude is called the dependent variable, because amplitude is varying with respect to time factor, right? As the time is going, I'm talking, I'm speaking. So amplitude of my voice depends on the time. So dependent variable is the amplitude. However, time is the independent variable. Time is not dependent on anything. So we have to see the operations on these two different variables. So let us continue. I have listed here, if you can observe, there are some 5 to 6 operations we have to see on the dependent variable, that is amplitude in general. Okay, that is amplitude scaling. Scaling is a very known term to all of you, probably in analog electronics. While doing the experiments, you might have come across some scaling factor, right? Scaling is generally a multiplying factor. It may be a bigger number or a smaller fractional number. Okay, so scaling in general specifies the multiplication, then addition or subtraction, and multiplication, differentiation, and integration. So you might get confused why there are two parameters on multiplication, right? Scaling, I said just now, I said it's a multiplication, and separately multiplication also we are studying. So there are two different concepts. I will tell you the details. So let us first deal with these, then we will see the other part. So let us start with the first one, amplitude scaling. The same thing I have written here, two different types of variables. Then first type, amplitude scaling. What is amplitude scaling? Again, any of these operations, how many? Some 5 operations I have listed. Both are, all these operations, they are applicable for both continuous time and discrete time. Just like I said, even in elementary signals, these are the varieties classification for both continuous and discrete. That's why they were 6 plus 6, 12. So here also, when we are dealing with amplitude scaling, it is applicable to both continuous as well as discrete. So let us start with the first continuous. Let x of t, small x of t, t is the variable used for continuous time. Okay, this is the time representing the continuous time nature. Let x of t be a continuous time signal. Then the signal c into x of t. C you can take even a also, b also, p also, any constant. Okay, so c indicating the constant. Okay, c multiplied by this signal is called the amplitude scaled version of x of t. Amplitude scaling is the amplitude scaled version of x of t. How? It should be some constant multiplied by x of t. For example, say 2 into x of t. So 2 is your scaling factor. It can be like half of x of t. So here 0.5 is your scaling factor. So it can be a multiplicating, more than one number or any fractional number. So this C is important. It's a scaling factor for all time. Whatever may be the signal range, for that complete signal range, you have to do this. C multiplied with x of t, then you will get the amplitude scaled version. This is regarding the continuous time. Similarly, we can define the amplitude scaled version of x of n also. So consider a signal x of n. N represents the discrete time nature. So x of n is the discrete time signal. Then the signal y of n is equal to c multiplied by x of n. C is a constant. Some value is called amplitude scaled version of x of n. Again, c is a scaling factor. For whatever time your signal exists, for all those time values, you have to do this, c into x of n. So this is the definition of amplitude scaling. Let us see this amplitude scaling with one example. Okay, I'll show you here. Okay, let me just zoom a little bit so that the numbers are clear to you. Fine. If you just see here, what is the question? Example, x of t is equal to 2 multiplied by u of t, where scaling factor is 2. And two more examples are there here. You can see x of t is equal to minus 2 into u of t. So what is the scaling factor? It is minus 2. And one more example, half of u of t, wherein half 0.5 is the scaling factor. And the u of t, you know how to draw u of t. So what is the definition of u of t? Any signal which is present for t greater than or equal to 0, and that to amplitude is 1. And for the left side, we don't have any amplitude, it is 0. So this signal is called u of t. So let's see how to get the scaled version, first, second and third. Okay, we will see here. First, what I have done, I have drawn the basic signal, that is unit step, because in all the three questions, u of t is common. So you should know how to write, how to draw u of t. That I have done. Always, in order to draw any signal, take two axes. Horizontal axis represents the time. Vertical axis represents your signal, that is x of t. But here, as we have three different signals, what I will do, x of t is equal to, I will take first one, it is 2 into, simply, okay, let it be 2 into u of t. First signal I have to draw. U of t is your initial signal. You first draw how to draw u of t, you know it. And this is how u of t looks like. It extends up to infinity. And the left hand side, we don't have any signal. Now, in order to get the first signal, this one, 2 into u of t, what I'll do, here I will mark. Okay. So horizontal is the time and vertical is the signal. And I have mentioned very specifically, it is 2 into u of t. X of t is equal to this. Then, what is the amplitude for u of t? It is equal to 1. Now, what is the constant? It is 2. So, whatever constant is given here, it should be multiplied with this amplitude, because it is like this, 2 u of t. It is nothing but 2 into u of t. So, u of t amplitude is 1. So, multiply this amplitude 2 into 1. 1 is your u of t's amplitude. So when you multiply 2 into 1, you will get 2. So instead of this amplitude, now you're getting 2 as the amplitude. Same signal, just amplitude is 2 throughout up to infinity. This is the scaled version. Remember, this is scaling factor 2. So it is the scaled version of your x of t. This is about the first signal. Similarly, let's try to draw the second signal, that is minus 2 into u of t. Again, to draw this, this is a reference. You should know how u of t is drawn and mark the horizontal and vertical points. Then, what is the amplitude value here given? It is minus 2. So, you know that this is the question given to you, minus 2 into u of t. So, what is u of t? The amplitude is 1. So, multiply minus 2 with 1. You will get minus 2. That's why if you observe the signal which I have drawn, see here, horizontal it is time, vertical it is the signal, and amplitude is minus 2. If this is your quadrant system, this is your first quadrant, second, third, and fourth quadrant. Out of which, if this is your time t, this opposite axis, that is the other side, left side, represents minus t. Similarly, if this is your positive amplitude, because you're marking the amplitudes here, this represents your negative amplitude. So if I take this is 0, plus 1 and plus 2, where minus 2 is marked below, okay, here in the opposite direction, minus 1 and minus 2. So the amplitude you will get is minus 2 into 1 is minus 2. So here you should draw like this. This is your second signal extending up to infinity. This is also the scaled version, minus 2 of u of t. Okay, this is the second example. Let's go to the third example. It is half of u of t. The scaling factor is 0.5 in fractions. So again, take the reference of u of t as it is. Then u of t amplitude is 1. It should be multiplied with half. Half into 1, 0.5 into 1 will become 0.5. So, if you see, third signal what I have drawn, horizontally marked time, vertical is your signal, amplitude point, positive is there. So, this is 0, this is 1. The exact middle point, this represents 0.5 as the amplitude. So, just drag this up to infinity. So this is the third signal. So I hope you have understood about the scaling factor. Remember, as and when we proceed in the next second type of operations, you will come to know, you will come across the things like this. Okay, this is not equal to this. Remember, if the 2 is outside the signal or if 2 is inside that bracket, both are different things. Now we are working on this. That is, only the vertical line is important to us, because in 4 quadrants, if horizontal is the time, vertical is the amplitude, right? So we are working on, because we are dependent variable is amplitude, and we are all these 5 different operations what we have listed, we are doing it on the amplitude itself. Because of this, only the vertical line is important for us. Remember, okay? Now, taking one more example, you can see here, one example I have shown you with the continuous time. Let's see one more example with the discrete time. See here, the question is, we need to find here, instead of in the earlier problem, if you have seen here, directly I have given you u of t, because it's u of t is a standard signal which you already know how to draw. Here, instead of giving you u of t in this question, one signal x of n is given here. Okay, some signal, example, it is extending from -3 to +3. Some 7 points are there. This is the signal. It looks like amplitude is 1, 2, 3 at different times. With this signal taking as a reference, we have to find 2x of n. So 2 is associated with the amplitude, c into x of n. So c is 2. So constant amplitude is 2. So your signal amplitudes, which are different at different times, 1, 2, 3, you have to multiply with 2. How to do that? Let's see. Okay, I have done this. You can see. Okay, what is the amplitude of your signal x of n originally, which is given to you in the equation at time t equals to 0? You don't have any amplitude because point is exactly at the center only. So no amplitude at 0. If you multiply this 0 with the 2, you will get 0 only. So at 0, 0 only. Now, amplitude at 1 is 1. So 1 multiplied by 2, you will get 2. So at the time n is equal to 1, you should get 2. Now at time n is equal to, see here it's a discrete time, so n is equal to 2, amplitude is 2. Hence 2 into 2, you will get 4. You can see here 4. That too at time n is equal to 2. Now coming to n is equal to 3. Amplitude given is 3 in the given question. You have to multiply it with 2. So 2 into 3, you should get 6. So at a time 3, you will get the amplitude 6. Similarly, on the other side, left side, you can observe -1 time. See here, -1 time. Amplitude is 1. 1 into 2, it is 2. Then for time -2, it is 2, right? So 2 into 2, you will get 4. And finally, time is -3. The amplitude is 3. 3 into 2, it is 6. Hence, it is at -3, 6. Remember one thing, whenever you're solving the problems in signals and system, try to draw all the signals in a sequential manner, one below the other, somewhat like this. First signal is here, second signal, third signal. Why? Let me tell you, whenever you are performing any operations, if I mark 1, 2, 3 like this, and if I mark 1, 2, 3 here also for second signal, all these ones should touch. Okay, they should be aligned. They should be in one line. It will make your calculation work easier. You will not you will not get the wrong results. What happens, sometimes students, just to save space, they will draw the signals like this, but these will create confusions to you. Okay, it's very difficult to keep track of the times if you do it like this horizontally. Don't draw the signals. Always try to draw the signals one below the other, and all time values, they should coincide in a vertical fashion. Okay, have this habit. Okay, next, one more example is there. The same x of n is same. Instead of 2, now the multiplication factor, scaling factor is half. It is 0.5. Let's see how the signal changes. Amplitudes are marked here. For my ease, I will write it like this: 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3. With these, if you multiply here, it is 0. Now let's start with 0 only. 0 multiplied by half is 0 only. That's why it is 0 here. Then take 1. For 1, amplitude is 1. 1 into 0.5, you will get 0.5. If I see this is 1. So 0.5 is lesser than this. It is 0.5. Then 2 into 0.5. I think 2 gets cancelled, it is 1. So at 2 you will get amplitude 1. Then 3 into 0.5, that is 3 by 2, which is 1.5. It is lesser than 2. See here, this is your 2 line, this is less than. Similarly, on the other side, 1 into 0.5 is 0.5. 2 into 0.5 is 1. 3 into 0.5, it is 1.5. So this is how the signal looks like in case of discrete when we do amplitude scaling. Okay. So I hope you have understood both these examples. If any doubts, please ask me, else we'll proceed. Okay, let me continue. If any doubts, you can ask me in the chat box, okay? Coming to the second operation, first is amplitude scaling. Now, let's see what is this addition, okay? Again here for continuous and discrete, we will deal with both. Let x1 of t and x2 of t are the two continuous time signals. Then the signal x1 plus x2 is called the addition of x1 and x2. How we can obtain y of t? It is by adding the values of x1 and x2 for all time. Okay, this these statements you will understand if we see one example problem. Whatever definition I have taken it here for continuous, it is applicable to discrete as well. So consider x1 and x2 two discrete time signals. Then the signal x1 plus x2 is called the addition. Okay, how to get this final y of n output? It is obtained by adding the values of the signals. So let us see this addition with the help of one example. Okay, let me take this first example. This is x of n given with the range -1 to +1. Amplitude is 1. Horizontal line represents the time. Vertical axis represents the first signal x1 of t. Similarly, this is the second signal. Horizontal represents the time. Vertical represents the signal x2 of t. So if x1 and x2 are given to you, both signals should be added. How to add? Let's see. Observe here, this is your final solution for addition. Horizontal axis represents the time. So whenever you are asked to do any signal drawing, always do this. Horizontal, vertical, horizontal time, and vertical the signal. This much you remember in general. Okay, always you should do this. Then mark the points 0, 1, 2, 3 like that. -1, -2. This is the general thing you should do, everybody, whenever a question is asked to draw. A signal is to be asked. Then, if you observe here, the amplitudes for x1 and x2 are 1 and 1. Both are 1, 1. So, let us start with the leftmost and then we will proceed like this. Okay. How to add? Before -1, if you observe, you don't have any signal here. Any signal, there's no amplitude, it means the value is 0, right? The amplitude value is 0. Amplitude value is 0 here, right? This is 0 before -1. Here also it is 0. No doubt here before 0, but let me take only the first signal. First signal range is before -1. Here no value. It is 0. This is also 0. So 0 plus 0 you will get 0. Hence before -1 you don't have any amplitude. Okay, nothing is there, only 0. Then observe between let us take one point at a time. Okay, this has actually 2 points, -1 to 0, one line, one time, and 0 to 1, one more time. So let us split this. We will consider only this part first. So for that, let's observe the amplitude in between these two is 1, right? It's constant. What is the amplitude here in between? There's no value. The signal is starting from 0. Here you don't have anything, so 0. So what is 1 plus 0? It is 1. Hence, between -1 and 0, I have drawn this block, 1. Okay, it is similar to this. Now coming to the next block, second time, between 0 and 1, amplitude is 1. Here also if you observe, between 0 and 1, amplitude is 1. So 1 plus 1, it is 2. Hence, this is your 1, this is your 2. So it is throughout this one complete time, it is 1. Hence, just take a step. Here it is complete throughout, between 0 and 1, it is 2. Now coming to the other part, you don't have any signal here, first signal, so take it 0. But however, x2 of t, if you see the next time, here the amplitude is 1 again. So 0 plus 1, you will get 1 only. Hence, here now we are at 2. We want it now at 1. So come below, take a step below, constant 1. And after this, if you observe, here anyhow you will get 0, first signal. Second signal is also 0 after 2. 0 plus 0, 0, nothing. So don't stop here. Take it down and stop it. Complete the signal. So this is how we add two signals. How to add two signals? Take one time at a time. 1 point. Between 0 and -1, between 0 and 1, between 1 to 2, between 2 to 3. It will make your work easier. Okay, take like that. And if you observe how I have drawn the signals, all these dotted lines indicate the alignment. Okay, all these time values should coincide. Then you will get the correct results. So try to have the habit of drawing the signals one below the other with the equal distance. Try to use pencil and scale preferably. Okay. I hope you understood this first edition. Let's take one more problem. If you observe the x1 of t and x2 of t, both this first problem and the second problem, the signals given are same. No difference. Now, what is the question? Here it is x1 plus x2. But here it is x1 minus x2. So let's see how x1 minus x2 is performed. Actually, this is subtraction, okay, not addition. But if you see here, I have listed addition / subtraction because subtraction is considered as a special case of addition. How? See, if you have the addition of two values a and b, you will write like this, a plus b. If you have the subtraction of two values a and b, you will write it like this. Okay. But how you can write this? It is a plus of minus b. So subtraction is a special case of addition. Hence, we'll not deal with it separately. With the given example only, let us try to understand how subtraction is done. Okay. Now again, draw the first signal, draw the second signal as it is, and please try to mark all the times vertically. They should be aligned. Now, again you observe before this -1, the first signal amplitude is 0. And here also second signal, the amplitude is, it is looking like 6, I guess, 0. This is also 0. So before, till this -1 on this left side, we don't have any amplitude. Okay, this is confirmed. Now taking one time at a time, between -1 and 0, let's see what is the amplitude. Here the amplitude is 1. And what is the amplitude between this two? You don't have any signal. Signal is starting from 0 only. So here no amplitude, 0. So what is 1 minus 0? Right? Earlier case we have taken 1 plus 0 because we were adding the signals. Now we are subtracting x1 minus x2. So the amplitude of x1 and amplitude of x2, they should be subtracted. 1 minus 0, it is 1 only. So doesn't make a difference. Same thing. Now between, take the next time 0 to 1, amplitude is 1 again. Here also it is amplitude, it is 1. So what is 1 minus 1? 1 minus 1 is 0. Hence no amplitude here. See, it is 0. I have not marked any amplitude here. Between 0 and 1, 0 only. Then coming to the next time, between 1 to 2, we don't have any amplitude, 0. Here between 1 to 2, we have amplitude 1. Now, what is the amplitude here? It is 0, it is 1. So 0 minus 1. 0 minus 1 will be, answer is minus 1. That's why in the earlier case, it was something like this. Now it is below because amplitude is negative, right? This lower direction indicates negative amplitude. Hence, it is flipped. Below, we will get the minus 1 as the signal. So this is how we do subtraction and addition of two signals. So don't worry, even if you don't understand this, please, whatever examples here I have shown, those examples, you take pen and paper, try to put the same example on the paper, because now you are simply listening to the class. Signals and system is a subject which will not come by reading. It needs practice. For that, these examples rewrite on the paper. If at any point, if you get stuck up and don't understand anything, please you can ask me. Okay. So these are the two examples. One more example and further I have to continue. So what I'll do now, I will end the session. Please you join back as early as possible, so that one more some 20 minutes I can extend the session. Okay. Please join the class. Thank you.